Hello, Patriots. Captain Kyle here. And it is Tuesday, October the 28th. And, the things that are going on right now are everything that we have asked for and waited for, and they're lining up for right now. And I'm going to put all these things on a T for you here in just a second and how it all kind of plays out. The other day I did a post on Flock Technologies and how they've got more than 100,000 actual automatic license plate readers that are very high technology devices that don't just read license plates, they actually identify vehicles and other things that you can actually put in a search. And if you wanted to search for my truck, you could actually not even have my license plate, but actually ask for a black lifted Ford 250 with stickers on the back window, and it would begin to locate my vehicle. And this is the kind of technology they have. And people said, oh, go out there, cut it down, and everything else. Well, I'm going to expand upon that, which I put out first that the other technologies that they have are what they put out in Batman Dark Knight, where they used the telephones to actually create a sonar map of everything that was around. Well, it gets even deeper than that. That they were just showing you just the tip of the iceberg back then of things that they already do. And I'm going to get into that technology and what it is. And so if they wanted you, they would already have you. They already know everything that you do, every single thing you do, and where you're at 24 hours a day, 365. They have that kind of awareness of absolutely everything. And I'm going to explain that here in just a second. But where we're at right now is the Operation Podesta that was to be brought about if Trump actually won 2020. This was their plan. And so their plan is being forced upon them to actually do. And what was Operation Podesta? Well, it was to have civil chaos and to create a civil war, starting with what's called a West Coast Alliance. And that West Coast Alliance is to be headed up with none other than Mr. Gavin Newsom. And that West Coast Alliance is California, Oregon, Washington, and then being a part of that same group that's wanting to succeed and break away from the federal control of the United States is Chicago, New York, and they made a movie about it, Civil War, that the Obamas put together. And that's out on Netflix. But see, they didn't get what they thought they were going to get in 2020. They got someone put in that place instead of Trump. Trump was in the background. It's not how it worked out for him. And the deal is that we also know that all those governors were all brought into a governor's meeting, and they were all told to their face that we have everything on you and that we know what you have done, what you have been doing, and we have it all on you. And they are all captured, all of them. And so these things have they're having to play their role or be taken out of that position and someone else put in it. So when you look at the way that California and the so-called lawmakers are pushing the criminality of ICE and the federal officers, and not just in LA, but in Oregon and Chicago, and that they're wanting to arrest them, and they're creating these um, uh, networks for people to go out and to call in and report on them. This is all part of that playbook, and they're being pushed into it. Not only is that what's going on, but we're getting to a point where the military is going to have to step in. And in that, what they were going to do was have a plan. This was before they were captured. They were going to use, when the military got deployed, to actually kill, mass casualty, a massive amount of immigrants, and then blame it on the U.S. government and the military to gain support for them breaking away from a tyrannical government. It's all part of the plan. See it now for what it really is. And so, what did you have to do? Well, we had to take control of the actual military. Well, I think we just had every one of the military flag officers called into the Pentagon. Not to the Pentagon, excuse me, but to the farm. And in doing so, many of them did not leave there. The ones that did were read in to do their job. They were 100% on board. And those that were questionable but didn't commit any travesties against the office that they held were given the opportunity to retire and walk away. There was a few of those, but the ones you didn't hear about, they never left there. And the situation is that not only now have you captured the entirety of the military, because when you look at the Civil War thing, that was where they had broken up the military industrial complex to the black hats, the white hats, West Coast Alliance against the actual government, and fought it out. And this ain't happening. This is what they wanted. This is what's going to be gamed out. And this is how they are getting all taken down. But now, the other part of once you've actually taken full control over the military, because a lot of those guys, they weren't even read in on what the plays were. And so there were some that were still doing nefarious things, a part of the military industrial complex, thinking that they were still in allegiance with other deep state players like these governors and stuff that were still doing their corrupt things. But they were being played because they were doing their role, as they are right this minute. And the situation with that is that it's leading us into the Law of War Manual 11.3 for the military to take over. But before you do that, you must lock down control of information. Well, what did they just do with the Pentagon? They got rid of all of the Main Street media that basically had press passes to just walk the freaking halls there and do all kinds of stuff that they could get information, listen to information, pass information, all kinds of stuff that they have been doing for years. And when they were given these strict protocols of how they were going to enter the building, what they had to bring, what they had to do to get out of the building, the people that they were allowed to talk to, how they were allowed to talk to these people, and having to sign a disclosure order and an agreement to be prosecuted. If they didn't, none of them could do that. And they've all been kicked out. they had to control the information space. And that is exactly what they just did. They are walking us up into exactly the things in which we've known were coming. This is all a part of the chaos, but people are just seeing the chaos. Oh, it's breaking out here. No, this is a part of their alliance package of what they were trying to do to bring us into a civil war and to succeed and break away and to bring basically our government and us to our knees. But that ain't happening. That was stopped years ago. But you got to go down this path. They have to play the game. It has to be gamed out. It has to go down this road. We all have to finish what was started. And it's like, so when I talk about the technologies that they have technologies that can see everything. They can actually map out 3D map with cellular and with Wi-Fi and with the different transmissions that are out there using Doppler, all the different technologies, the radar and everything else. They're using 5G. They're using also military 6G. And they're 3D mapping everything in real time everywhere around the world. This is even offshore. And how are they doing it? They're using systems that are called SIPRIS, space-based infrared systems. I'm going to put a link up on them, and I'm going to put a post on it after this video about it and a little bit of information. But what they're telling you that you can see is about that much of what it really does and how much actually control it has. And so this is not just 3D mapping in real time everything, but it's actually hooked into the networks of AI, the quantum AI with it, and it is watching, it's game theorying, and it's going through a military protocol on everything 24 hours a day, 365. And that's absolutely everything. And it's not just outdoors, it's inside your home. It's inside every business. It's inside of everything. There's Wi-Fi and there's electronics in every part of the buildings. They see it all. Absolutely everything. They know how many people, who they are, where they are, what they're doing, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is what they, the deep state, had intended to. There would have been no way to get away from them. But now that technology is being implemented, that there is no way to get away from them. The bad are being taken down. And I'm going to take us even further down this path here in just a second on things we talked about in the past where the military had started training with local law enforcement, sheriff's departments, and things like that, because they're going to be martialized when we get into 11.3, because they're going to need all of the help that they can get when we go into a full-on military control. To take them down, not to take you down, not to infringe upon you. This is a part of getting rid of every freaking rat. None gets away. None. And so, ex-military, they're going to be asked to come back on board to be deputized as marshals to work alongside of all of this. Yes, you will be able to serve again for your nation. It's all coming. And so the situation with what that is basically is they're testing things like last year in February 24, where they took down AT&T for like a half a day. They took it completely down. Well, just this was them implementing their control over it completely and tying it into the network of their systems. And then this past week, last week, was when AWS, they just went through it. That was 25% of the entire traffic of the entire world, all now under control. Yeah, it's under control of the military. They're testing their stuff through it. And basically, that goes through Tennessee to Colossus 2. There is a Colossus 1 as well. And that's with Musk and X. You also have basically the USSF that's a part of that, Cheyenne Mountain, and they're controlling it all. And there's going to be blackouts because it's coming. And that blackout basically is intent is to bring awareness to the infrastructure and how they have minimized redundancy for profitability over the years. And that's why everybody's gone into these cloud servers, but they don't have the redundancy to keep this from happening. And it's going to bring light to it all. It's going to bring exposure. It's going to bring basically a new system that will never allow this to happen again, and accountability for it, because they did it on purpose. They sacrificed the reliability for profitability. Does that sound familiar? So this is to bring exposure to it, and it's going to freak the shit out of people too, but that's a part of just what we got to go through. But this whole situation is leading us up into these different military operations. We're already operating in Venezuela in a color revolution right now. CIA is there. They have been there, and it's a part of the people stepping up and to overthrow their government, and we're helping. And it's I hope we don't have to fully invade, but we may. But it's going to be taken care of. And then just the other day, Trump's in speaking to the chief with NATO, and in doing so, basically, he was asked a question about Colombia, and he called Colombia out, basically saying that he's a criminal and he's next because we're not putting up with your crap anymore. That just blew up everything. And in Colombia, people that are in the narco business, seeing what's going to happen here in Venezuela, seeing what's happening to the cartels, seeing what's happening, are basically trying to get out of, back out of, do whatever. All kinds of stuff is going on. It's all over their news that was there, that Trump called them out. Did it in front of the NATO boss, the general, chief, whatever you want to call him. And they're having meetings about stuff that's going on here, and the same stuff is going over there, and it's all being dealt with. And so this is all happening kind of simultaneously while they're going to try to kick off this deal with the civil war breaking out in the United States. And I don't know if you guys know it, but I've talked about how JAG has been implemented, brought in to DC area, and to begin to do this work in the background. Well, it's not just that. If you look at what Title 10 says, Section 7377, that was implemented during the National Defense Authorization Act of 2025. Basically, the Army Intelligence Counterintelligence Agency Command basically is telling everyone that they have now new arrest powers. They're basically able to gather intel, do warrants, and they got authorizations for searches, execute warrants to make arrests. And this is in conjunction with officials outside of the bases in the public space. You can look it up. I'm going to post it here in a little while. But I told you that they're going after the deep state. Everybody that was involved is getting taken down. If they were criminals and they were a part of the coup, American, don't matter. If you did what you did, you're going down. You're not going to be able to hide under posse comitatus. You can't operate on U.S. soil. The military can't arrest U.S. citizens. And they already got the authorization to do that. It's already done. People are going down. The arrest wars have just begun. People, shit's about to go off the hinges. Hope you guys are prepared for it. I'm pretty sure Brennan is about to get the next indictment. And this is only going to continue down the path to Obama and everybody else. They're all being taken down. Nobody's safe. If you were a part of the coup, if you were a part of the coup, if you were a part of the clot shot, if you were a part of bringing people into what we've gone through, crimes against humanity, yeah, trafficking, being a pedo, your days are numbered. They're coming for you. There ain't no place to hide. No place to hide. They're doing everything by the book, and it is 100% lawful. Not legal, lawful. The difference in the words. It's already done. Things are already put into place. Trump is about to do a new national emergency. And in doing so, after he does it, we're going to get, most likely, it's going to be tied into a executive order having to do with elections and election interference. And people, be prepared. Just be prepared. Don't get suckered into the bullshit. Don't let people lie to you. Use your God-given discernment. Be careful who you follow. And don't listen to the noise. Be grounded. Let your spirit lead you. Be the lighthouse in the storm. We are to be the eye of the storm, the calm, the lighthouse, to bring them into safe harbor. God selected you for a purpose. You've been through everything you've been through with purpose. God loves you. I love you. And I've got more. Just not ready for it yet. Love you guys.